Welcome to For Your Distraction. I am your host. My name is Adam. Sitting across from me as always is Scott. How you doing, Scott?
Hooty hoo, I'm doing good.
We're back. We had taken another week off. You know, there's a lot of big dealings happen. A lot of stuff happening. I think we're just gonna get into it. We have a lot to talk about this episode.
Oh,
we have a
lot
lot
so much
to talk about, specifically the last two episodes of Game of Thrones that we've seen. At the time we're recording this, it is the night before the final episode of Game of Thrones. Episode 6.
We'll pull back the curtain that this is being filmed on Saturday, May 18th. Tomorrow, is it the last episode?
It is the last episode. Episode 6.
You know, I feel like I'm saying goodbye to some friends. We've been invested in this show since damn near the beginning. It's been, 9 years? 10 years almost?
It's been about 9 years at this point. Probably
My
about
God.
that.
They took a big long break.
Extra year in between 1 year. So yes, it's been about...
It's just been a hell of a ride. You and I both love the show. It's become a pop culture phenomenon in this country and around the world. It's arguably the most popular show on TV. It would be more popular if it wasn't on HBO. If it was on like regular network TV, it'd be huge.
It probably wouldn't be as good though, because there probably wouldn't be as much money behind it, I would imagine, and we wouldn't see as many
tits and balls and heads being chopped off, and dragons burning people to death, and
little girls getting burned at the stake.
All the good shit, all the stuff we love,
all the fun stuff.
Dude.
But anyway, it's the night before last episode, so we didn't meet last week, so we're gonna talk about the last episode and briefly the episode before. I think the last episode 5, is the big episode to talk about, but we will have to lead in with episode 4.
Yeah, it was kind of a setup. And I don't think we need to give a play-by-play rundown.
No.
I mean, we did that with the episode before where we did
there's so much that went on in that
the Battle of Winterfell, the Siege of Winterfell, whatever you want to call it, where they fought, which was great. I love that episode. Listen to our last episode. We talked all about it. We gave you pretty much a play-by-play rundown of that episode. We're not going to do that with these next two. We're going to talk about the important parts of it, what we liked, what we didn't like.
Yeah, I have some thoughts. I have some thoughts and some queries. I'm gonna preface it with this. It's gonna sound like I hate the show when I talk about it. When I talk about it, it's gonna sound like I hate the show. Bear this in mind. I do not hate this season. I don't. I really like this season.
A lot of people do.
I really like
people
this
are
season.
shitting on this season.
I know. I really like this season, but there's just a lot of things that are going on in the season that I do not like. Things that kind of irritate me a little bit. Decisions that were made that I'm like, why would you even think to do that? Like, I'm not even a writer. I'm just some jagoff sitting on my couch, and even I'm like, why would you go doing this?
Yeah.
So
as we talked about, the last episode we discussed on the show was the Battle of Winterfell, where they fought the White Walkers. The episode before that was that big setup, where everybody was converging on Winterfell, getting ready for that battle. And I loved that. I think we talked about it on here. I loved how there was no action. It was all talking, all set up. Yeah. So many people hated that. But I loved it. It was finally bringing our characters. They took their time.
They brought people together.
Bringing our characters together was big. I'm okay with the setup, and I knew what it was leading to. I knew it was leading to that great, epic battle that we saw, and good conquered evil yet again. And so now we get another setup leading up to another battle.
Yeah.
I was okay with the last setup. I wasn't so much okay with this setup.
I think one of the good things, the benefits that the first setup had to it was the first time a lot of these characters are meeting. They were bringing together a lot of characters that had never met before, that were like, oh, hey, you're doing this. Well, I'm doing this. Oh, hey, what's your name? Oh, hey, I'm doing this. Oh, I was this guy. Oh, I'm this person. Like, it was bringing together a lot of characters that had never been brought together before. So I think that was kind of like hitting that, like, opium level of like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then this next setup was literally just a setup episode. There was no new character interaction. There was no...
Yeah.
There really wasn't a lot going on.
We were talking about the last setup was characters that we've known and loved for years that have never interacted with each other.
Yeah.
And finally they come together and you get to see these characters. You get to see Sansa in a room with Daenerys for the first time. Like, we've known you both forever and you've been separated by thousands of miles.
She's such a bitch to her for no reason.
Yeah, that's
no reason. But all right, that's fine.
So that was just one example. This episode, it's kind of like a, it's pretty somber when it starts out, burning the bodies, and you get a
sadness.
You get a recap of the main characters that we lost in the battle. You see how many bodies are there, how many people they lost. And Tyrion talks about it in the war room. He's like, well, we've lost half our army, so now our numbers are more comparable with Cersei's, and she's got the Golden Company.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be like, okay, well, it's kind of a...
Yeah, and there's the whole sequence of Daenerys is basically telling, like, hey, when are we going to ride north? Or south? When are we going to go south? Now that I've taken care of your shit, honor your agreement with me, take care of my stuff. Yep. And Sansa makes the argument of, like, no, like, we gotta let people rest. Like, we gotta let people rest.
She's not wrong.
Like, we gotta let people recover. Did you not see what we just fought last night? Like, let's recover for
She's
a little
not
bit.
Wrong. Like, King's Landing isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
But Daenerys' argument
impatient.
is, the longer we wait, the more reinforcement Cersei gets.
She's impatient, is what she
But you still have fucking dragons.
Yeah, she's so impatient.
Like, relax, bitch.
And they both turn to Jon to see who Jon's gonna side with. And this is going to be my first criticism of the season. My first criticism of the season is the way that they've treated Jon Snow this season. Jon Snow basically looks at them and says, we do as our queen commands, or something like that. Like, basically says, like, our queen commanded, let's listen. This has been my biggest problem so far with Jon Snow this season, is he's basically become a yes man. That's all.
Do you think he's pussy whipped?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
100%.
Hey.
But that's not the character Jon Snow that we've grown over the past 7 seasons to know. Like, he's always been the man of honor, the man that's going to do the right thing for goodness sake, and not so much care about what other people say. Like, he's the one that went behind the orders. You remember the original leader of the wildlings, whenever they burned him at the wall, whenever you remember a few seasons ago before he became Mance Rayder. Yeah, remember when they burned him, and he went against like the wishes of burning him alive by shooting him in the heart. He went against wishes because it was the right thing to do. And
well, he never pledged allegiance to Stannis.
Yeah, but
so if he would have bent the knee to Stannis, and Stannis had told him,
I don't believe
let him burn at the stake.
I don't believe he would have let him burn at the stake. I still don't believe he would let him burn at the stake.
Jon, you can say a lot about him, but he is loyal.
Yeah.
He is motherfucking loyal to a T. And he bend the knee to Daenerys. That is him pledging his life, his sword, his everything for her. And he's a man of his word.
He's a man of his word.
And he will not go back on that.
He would have still spoken up to try to convince her otherwise. He would have done that. He hasn't done any of that stuff. If he would have, I don't care if he listens to her and does what she says, but if he would have voiced his opinion, if he would have said, we need to let our men, rest and stuff like that. Like episode 1 of Game of Thrones, when they first find the direwolves and Ned Stark orders them to be like, kill the cubs kill the pups because we don't want them to suffer through winter and stuff like that. He went against Ned Stark. It's like, my lord, like in a smart way by saying, my lord, there are 5 direwolves here and you have 5 kids. One puppy for each kid. Maybe don't kill him. He's like, fine.
And then Theon found a 6th.
Yeah, and
it looks like you get one.
If Jon had been the same character that was written this whole season, but the second Ned Stark had said kill the pups, he'd have been like, all right, pull the knife and stab the pup. He wouldn't have tried to convince some others. So my point is, he's not
there
really.
There was 5, right? Wait.
There's because there's 5 Stark kids.
Sansa, Arya, Bran,
Rickon, Robb. Robb is 6. That's 6.
Robb.
So there were 6.
I forgot about Robb.
Yeah, there were 6.
He's been around a while.
Yeah. So there were 6 wolves, and then the 7th one was Jon's. So,
no, it's 5. The 6th one was Jon's.
Arya, Sansa, Robb, Rickon, Bran.
Then Robb, and then Jon.
Okay, yeah. So right the first time. Okay.
Right the first time.
But anyway, like that's the character I want to see. I want to see the character that goes to Daenerys, even in private, and be like, we need to let our forces rest. We will follow you, but we gotta let our forces try to convince her or try to speak up a little bit. He's been a yes man this entire season, even leading up to this last episode. He's been basically a yes man. We'll see how much of a yes man he is in the next episode. Probably not, hopefully, but he's so that's been my biggest problem with Jon. The way he was written.
Speaking of that, we were talking. I was tongue-in-cheek comment where I said, "Well, you think he's pussy whipped?" And you said, "Yeah, I agree." But do you think he's still pussy whipped now that the hot chick he's been banging is his aunt.
No, I don't.
He's not cool with that.
No.
Like the Targaryens are cool with family banging each other. The Lannisters are cool with family banging each other. The Starks and Varys,
they frown upon it.
Varys says this. They don't do that shit in the North.
Yeah.
But, normal, a lot of people, it's okay. Just with a little bit of incest.
Yeah.
Alabama's been doing it for hundreds of years.
You're right. Yes, you're right. I don't believe that I don't really necessarily believe he's been pushed over now. I think maybe, if anything, he's in shock right now. Where, like, I've been banging my aunt? What? I think maybe he's like, can I get a little what Theon had? Maybe chop my dick off a little bit, please? Like, can you do something like that, please, and thank you? I'm just saying, it's been disappointing.
I saw a great meme. It was the scene where Jon is in the crypt telling her that he's her nephew. And it was just that scene. Nothing to, but they put the Pornhub logo in the corner. That's all they had to do.
And I wonder how many parodies are being filmed right now of just that one scene.
Oh, shit. Oh, I love the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hate it, but sometimes it comes through.
That's gonna be the staple of a lot of my problems with the season is the writing. The writing and the direction that they've gone with a lot of these characters and how they've written them is very, very poor in my opinion.
Well, this is the first season that it's not George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, and this shows that the writers and creators don't know what the fuck they're doing. I think one of the creators, I looked it up because I heard about it and I looked it up. You know what? He's one of his best known for writing.
Oh, here we go. Don't say Fast and Furious. No. Don't say Fast and the Furious.
In 2009, he is one of the co-writers of X-Men Origins Wolverine. And that was a very, very shit fucking movie that took source material and completely fucked it.
Oh, Origins Wolverine?
Yes, the one where they had Deadpool and they sewed his mouth shut.
Not the Wolverine.
No. The Origins one.
I was gonna say I don't think I hated it that much.
No.
That's the Wolverine.
Yes, that's the.
That's one where he goes to feudal Japan, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I was mixing them up.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the one with Deadpool. Yeah. That sucks.
One of the head creators of Game of Thrones, was one of the co-writers of that fucking movie.
Oh,
so this just in my opinion, this shows that the writers and the creators have no fucking clue what they're doing outside of the source material. Whether or not you say George R.R. Martin, is taking his sweet time and isn't working with them as well, it doesn't matter. It just shows that these writers, if you're a writer and you've been working on a show for 7 seasons, don't you think that the 8th season, whenever you have to kind of come up with your own ideas and do your own thing, you've gotten used to the format of the way the show works, that you would kind of, recreate it so that's just as good for the finale? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Also, I heard that the creators have been are going to be pulled to write the next Disney Star Wars trilogy. Apparently, like the creators have been they're on deck to basically write the next Disney Star Wars trilogy.
I did not hear that, but I'm not surprised.
I think I read that somewhere, and there's another theory that I hope is not true, but that I made up, where I think that maybe they're just trying to get that Disney money, so they're just trying to get through the season as quickly as possible so they can get the fuck out of there and get the Disney money.
Could be.
Because the reason why I think that is because Disney told them, like, hey, this is your final season. You got, we're finishing up the show. We want to keep those subscriptions for as long as possible. So if you guys want 10 episodes, you can have 10 episodes. We'll go up to 10. You can have all those episodes. And they told HBO, like, nah, we got this in 6. Don't worry about it. So they could have had more to spend more time with these characters, and they chose to have 4 less episodes. So that's why I kind of think they're just trying to get the fuck out of there. That's my opinion.
And I did not hear that, but I absolutely believe, because Disney is notorious for doing that, they're seeing how popular Game of Thrones is and how much money it's making, and they're like, we're trying to get down on that.
I wonder if...
Come over here.
I wonder if they're seeing all the feedback from this last season, and maybe they're rethinking, like, maybe we don't want those fucking guys now.
They don't give a shit, because why? Because it has fucking Star Wars in the title, and people are still going to go see it. They are. Like, people went and saw Solo. They did.
It didn't do as well as they wanted.
It didn't.
It didn't do as well as they thought they were going to.
I actually don't think it was that bad.
That's the reason why they're taking. I think that's the reason why they're taking a break from Star Wars for a while.
Me too.
Like that's what they said. Like people are Star Wars out and they're not the Star Wars movies that are coming out are not being as well received. So Disney's like, all right, let's pump the brakes on Star Wars for just a little bit.
Yeah.
Pumping the brakes. So they are doing that. So just because you throw Star Wars on a title doesn't mean Disney's going to be like, fuck it, let's do it. So I don't know, but that was just my first thing. We'll get into Tyrion later. I've been disappointed with the way Tyrion's written, but we'll get into that later. The two big events that happened in episode 4 was spoilers if you haven't seen it, obviously. One,
oh yeah, give the spoiler alert. If you haven't watched, you gotta.
Yeah, one of the dragons is killed in this episode, out of fucking nowhere, just completely outright killed.
Yeah, that was shocking.
It's a split difference for people like this. Some people loved it because it was out of nowhere, it was out of place, it just happened, it was a surprise kind of thing. I hated the way the dragon died, not because the dragon died, but because, in my opinion, the way that those dragons are flying around, they could have seen those ships from a far off distance. They could have seen those ships from a while away. So I can't imagine why they would have been so surprised all of a sudden that, there's ships down there, but they were. Just my opinion. This is what I would have preferred: kill the dragon, but have like a naval battle. We haven't seen like a naval battle, but have like a naval battle between the Iron Fleet and Dany's fleet. Dragons are flying around doing their thing, and then all of a sudden Euron gets off some good shots, and then boom, 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 kills one of the dragons. That would have been more dramatic for me.
Well, what they wanted to do, and a little bit of foreshadowing, they wanted to introduce you to the new and improved Scorpion gun that Clyburn invented. They're fucking crazy.
They are.
Like, it killed a fucking dragon in mid-flight. Euron Greyjoy did. Should show some credit where credit is due. Like, those fucking guns, and they just, like, slaughtered the ships like it wasn't a damn thing.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with. I'm absolutely fine with all that stuff, but it's, once again, the writing direction. I would have preferred a little more drama with my thing. I would have preferred a little more, fleet battle. Let's try and get the ships together, get some hits off. Maybe the dragons don't, like, destroy the Iron Fleet, but maybe they take out a couple ships, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 one dragon gets pelted with a bunch of arrows, and Dany realizes, oh shit, this is a problem.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I would have preferred a little bit more of that.
I would have liked to have seen a naval battle. I'm not cool with the way that the dragon, I can't even keep their name straight. I don't even know which one that was.
Was it Drogon? Or is Drogon the one that's still alive?
Viserion is the one that died in the north.
Yeah.
Drogon, I don't even know.
Yeah, fuck. Who cares?
Nobody
cares.
He's dead.
He's dead. It doesn't matter.
So, yeah, I did not like that scene. But there's a scene, you're getting ahead of me on the shit we want to bitch about Game of Thrones. There was a scene previous to this that kind of didn't like.
You're gonna have to remind me. I don't remember.
Before they left the north, when they're having the old jerk each other off celebratory.
You talking about when they were in the Godswood and Jon Snow was there talking about his
No, they're in the Great Hall, and they're drinking and they're partying because they won.
Okay, yeah.
I just didn't like how Tormund just. Like, Brienne just...
our boy Tormund.
He cried.
Dude, yeah. I've never seen a
he
loved cry.
He loved her. And she just ripped his heart. And I mean, I understand she didn't have feelings for him because she likes fucking Jaime Lannister. But we all knew where this was going.
I mean, who doesn't? Let's be honest. Yeah. Let's be honest.
And important to say that Jaime and Brienne finally bang.
Multiple times.
It
was more than once. It wasn't just a one night thing. He was on the down low for like the entire time, basically, after the Battle of Winterfell.
Yes.
Yes,
but what makes me mad is, I mean, Tormund, he is what he is. Like, he wears his heart on his sleeve, but he loved her. He would have done anything for her. They would have had great big giant babies that would have taken over the world.
I would take some Tormund Brienne babies
like,
at this point.
Yeah.
So.
And instead, she breaks his heart and goes with Jaime, and we all know how that's going to end with Jaime.
Well, we saw it.
We see what happens. Okay, we'll talk about it. He leaves and goes back to Cersei. Yeah. Which did you know he was going to do that? Because I fucking did. It's Jaime. Just when you think he's going to redeem himself, he pulls that shit, and I knew it. I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah.
What did you think about that? I hated that.
When it happened, I was like, I saw that coming. Like,
I did
I'm
too.
not surprised about that. in the slightest bit.
Now, Kristen did. My wife, Kristen, we watched it. She was upset. She thought that she wasn't like me. I was shipping hard for Bran and Tormund. She was shipping hard for Jaime and Bran.
I feel like it was, once again, goes back to the writing. I feel like it was just an excuse to get him back down to King's Landing. I really feel like it's an excuse to just try to get him out of the good circle of the good guys, and get him back on their shit list. I feel like that's what it was. That's kind of what I felt like it was.
Yeah.
It didn't feel real.
So I did not like that. I didn't like Gendry, who got made a Lord of Storm's End, which is a cool scene. I liked that. I thought that was nice.
It was a smart play by Dany.
Tyrion called her out on. He's like, it was also a smart move by you. The right move to do, but also a smart move because he's going to be loyal to you. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. A Baratheon in your corner.
It was one of those very good writing aspects where I'm like, that's I like that.
I like that too. Good. But then he goes and confesses his love to Arya, and right then and there, and she fucking gives him the finger. What is it with these bitches?
I knew that was going to happen easily because we all knew Arya was never that kind of person. We all knew Arya was never going to be a lady of a hall.
But later on, she second guesses herself. You can tell. When she's with the Hound, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but when she's with the Hound at King's Landing, I think she thinks about him. We may see this in the last episode.
Doubt that she doesn't care about him, and I bet you she does love him. Mm-hmm. I bet she does, but that's not the point. The point wasn't whether she loved him or not. The point was she is a swordsman. She is a assassin. She is not the lady of some house. That's not what she is.
Why can't you be the lady of some house and still be a badass assassin on the side?
Because the idea of being the lady of a house is against everything that she grew up to believe. Everything that she felt. She fought against it tooth and nail from the point that she was a child. From the point we see her in season 1, she fought against it every step of the way.
And now is her chance to change that.
But she doesn't want to. That's the point. She doesn't want to be late. If Sansa weren't alive and she was the only Stark left, she wouldn't want to be Lady of Winterfell. She wouldn't want to do it. Instead, she'd be like, "Oh, they killed my family. Give me my knife. I'm gonna go kill them." Well, you got to be Lady of Winterfell. No. Fuck off. Give me my knife. I need some bitches to kill.
Well, I'm still saying maybe in the final episode, which we haven't seen yet when we're recording this, maybe she goes and kills some more people and then heads back and lives happily ever after as Lady of Storm's End. I'm hoping she does.
I don't want her to do that because I want a badass female persona.
She can still be badass and live happily ever after. Why not?
She could live happily ever after, but she doesn't have to be tied down to some man to do it, Scott. She didn't need some man to live happily ever after.
But he understands her. He loves her for who she is. I think she could go off on quests and he wouldn't care. Like, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. She's not going to live very long if she keeps living a life of...
I think she likes living on the road. I think that's where she's most happy. I think she's most happy living on the road, living on the trail, riding her brand new white horse that somehow survived the fucking ending of the last episode to ride off into the sunset. I feel like she likes just being on the road. That's her thing. She doesn't like living in one place. That's why I think it is.
She basically tells Gendry to go fuck himself, and she leaves with who?
The Hound.
The Hound.
The Hound. Ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Can't Slandor Clegane.
Well,
they're back together. I thought that was cool because I loved in the previous seasons when they were together.
They have a good dichotomy.
They
those
do.
Two. They have a good little back and forth.
So I was happy to see them back together on the trail to King's Landing. I don't plan on coming back. Neither do I. I loved that. I loved that. That was cool. That was cool. So
I love that too.
The fleet's destroyed. A dragon is killed. And someone is captured. Missandei.
My Sunday.
So she survives the Battle of Winterfell only to get fucking picked up by the Iron Fleet.
It's really weird that she got captured. I'm not saying it's bad writing. I'm just saying it's really weird that out of all... Because damn well they weren't really shipping for prisoners. They were probably stabbing fucking people that were in the water. There was Unsullied in the water
and they were...
harpooning them and stuff like that. So it's really weird they kind of picked her out of a lot to pull her up, but whatever.
They went baby seal clubbing on the Unsullied. Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. So we find out Missandei got killed. How do we find out?
No, she gets captured.
Or captured, captured. And we find out because Dany takes her armies, which looks really, really small at this point compared to what
Well, it's not the full army. It's just a little bit, yeah. It's just a small regiment.
Why would you take a small regiment?
Because they're just going to negotiate terms. Tyrion's trying his damnedest. I don't know what he's thinking. He knows Cersei's never going to give in.
My problem. We're going to come to my problem with Tyrion now. Might as well bring it up. Tyrion for I'm going to say 6.5 seasons. 6.5 seasons. Tyrion has been a intellectual. He has been the smartest person in the room. He's always been calculated. He's always gambled, and he's always won. He's always been the kind of person that knows what's going on. He's like, he plans for things, and when things backfire, he doesn't panic or give up. He always has a backup plan, something to kind of like get him out of his own situation. He's always been a cold, calculating individual. And about the middle of season 7, I would say, he's just become the fool. Like, he's wrong. Every decision he makes is wrong.
He's made a lot of mistakes.
He's never made a right decision.
He's on Dany's shit list.
He's constantly apologizing, despite the fact that Varys touted him as a big individual. Like, you're going to need him as, I would say, he should be your hand because he's such a good advisor, blah, 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 blah. Like, they've written him as a fool. This entire season, he's been written as the fool. Like, just, he knows for a fact. Like, he goes up to he's talking to Qyburn, who comes out to negotiate for Cersei, and then he says, fuck it, like, I'm not talking to you anymore. And he blows past Qyburn and goes up to the wall to try to talk some sense into Cersei. You're not talking sense into this bitch. You know damn well you're not talking sense to her. Why would you even try?
Your sister hates you.
More than anybody. More than
in
Dany.
Westeros. Yeah.
More than fucking Dany, yeah. She hates you more than anybody. Like, you know and I think the intelligent Tyrion would know, I can't talk sense into her, so all I can do is try to mitigate, make as few casualties as possible while taking her out, because he
tries, but I think he knows that. But then he does know, because he is smart enough, there's only one person that Cersei would ever listen to, and that's Jaime. And he tries to send Jaime to talk some sense.
Yeah, Jaime got caught trying to leave, and Dany brings that up after our boy Varys is executed for treason.
Oh, well, Missandei gets executed. We forgot to bring that up.
Well, yeah, I mean, you were bringing up that a whole bit. But
I know. We got off on the Tyrion.
What sets Dany off? What sets her off basically is Missandei gets beheaded.
It's her best friend.
Basically, yeah. It's her best friend, and Missandei gets beheaded, and Cersei just stares at her, and Dany just gets that angry look in her face, and she just turns around and starts walking away.
That's how episode 4 ends.
Yeah, that's the end of the episode. You're like, oh my god, they fucking chopped this bitch's head off. I thought they were gonna like put a noose around her neck and like push her over and let her hang on the gates or something like that. That would have been a very Game of Thronesy kind of thing
Sir
too.
Gregor, the mountain, just clean swipe.
Yeah. So Missandei dies.
Poor Grey Worm. They were cute together.
Yeah.
They were gonna go off and live in North, and I don't know,
do something.
They both survived that horrible battle, only for her to die in like the worst way,
and
like
he can't do anything to save her either. There was nothing he could have done to stop it. That's what makes it even worse. But that's the end of episode 4. We get to episode 5, and Varys sees the writing on the wall. Varys has been playing the game not for the sake of the rulers, but he's been saying it since like the beginning. I fight for the people. That's who I play the game
My
for.
allegiance is to the realm.
Yeah, to the people. Like the people that can't, because he was one of those fucking people. He was tortured and he was beaten. He was a downtrodden individual when he was young, so he knows what it's like.
He got castrated. He got his wiener cut off. He's a eunuch.
Yeah. So he knows what it's like. So his whole thing is, I fight for the people. That's who I fight for. He tells everybody that. It's not like it's a fucking secret. He lets you know, like, I fight for the fucking people. That's who I go for. And he finds out that Jon Snow's lineage, because Tyrion finds out from Sansa, who found out from Jon himself. It's a whole fucking, it's a tree. It's what are they called? One of those letter trees or whatever it is.
Telephone.
You know? Yeah, telephone. Yeah.
Yeah. Jon was not supposed to tell anybody, and of course he told her, he was upfront. I can't keep this from my family.
Yeah,
and he did, and he told his family.
The only thing he's been defiant about Dany, and even then he's like, he would kind of like...
Because he has two loyalties here. To his queen and to his family. I respect him for...
Yeah, so Varys sees the writing. I love the line. The one thing I love is Varys' line is, when a Targaryen is born, a coin is flipped, and you don't know which end it's going to land on. And he said that Dany's is still flying through the air. He doesn't know where it's going to land, but he's like, I would be willing to bet where yours has landed, when he's talking to Jon Snow. Right. And that's the moment that Jon Snow finds out, shit, they fucking told. Like, they betrayed me, and they fucking told everybody. So now Varys knows. And I thought that was the coolest line, because yes, we know where Jon Snow's coin has landed. He's on the side of pure.
Don't tell anybody. Hey, everybody, Smokey's taking a shit in the weeds. I ain't gonna tell anybody else, though.
Perfect. I want to see that meme. That's all I want to see right now. I just want to see that meme.
I ain't tell nobody else, though.
But that's what happens. And so I didn't get this at first whenever I watched episode 5, but I kind of understood later whenever I was listening to somebody else talk about it. Apparently, Varys has been possibly poisoning Dany's food to try to maybe kill her so that Jon Snow would take the throne. Because of there's that scene where that little girl... There's a scene... You didn't catch it either. I didn't really catch it the first time either. There's a scene where the little girl comes in and they're talking and stuff like that, and she makes a point of saying, well, she's not eating her food. And he has this forlorn look on his face like, well, we just have to keep trying or whatever. He says something ominous, and I didn't catch it at first. And she was basically, the little girl was like, oh, the guards are staring at me. They keep looking at me. And he makes a thing about like, there's a reason why we take big risks or some shit like that, or we got to keep taking these big risks. So from what a lot of people are saying, and it makes total sense, that Varys is trying to poison her meals, maybe, is what's going on. So, long story short, he gets burned for treason or whatever. Yeah. And Tyrion is the one that fucking turned him in. Fucking Tyrion. Like, fuck you, Tyrion. I think it would...
You okay? I think it's... You okay? You're worked up.
No, I think it's like bad writing almost on the point of Varys' side, where it's like he's kind of jumping the gun a little bit with the whole poisoning and trying to take her down kind of thing before she's done anything really bad. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But anyway, Varys is dead. So Varys is dead, and they move on to King's Landing.
Okay, so I feel like the writers wanted to make this look more of a complicated battle. Like before, with the dragons, with the Unsullied, with the Dothraki, with all the North, with it was one-sided. Like, they were going to just kill everybody at King's Landing. It wasn't going to even be a fight. It was going to be easy. So now they had half of their army slaughtered at
Winterfell.
The Winterfell. And she
brings dragons are dead.
Yeah, she brings in the Golden Company. So they're going to make it look like more of a battle here,
Yeah, you think like we're going to get something cool.
You think it's going to be close. So there's a quote that I'd like to bring up, and I'm comparing it to them just fighting a war and defeating the fucking White Walkers and the Night King.
Yeah.
The fucking dead. Like, they weren't supposed to win that fight, and yet they did. And now they have to go fight King's Landing, and now you're like losing your armada and losing a dragon. In the 1980 Olympics ice hockey team, the movie Miracle with the USA ice hockey team. Okay. So they upset the Soviet Union. They weren't supposed to win. Team USA did. The movie Miracle's about that. It was like the coolest thing ever. So that wasn't the championship game. A lot of people think that was for the gold medal. That was to go to the gold medal. So Team USA goes to the gold medal, and they have to play Finland or Sweden or somebody like that. And after the first period, Team USA is losing. Herb Brooks, the coach of the team, walks into the locker room. Everybody's got their heads down. He grabs a hockey puck and throws it with all of his might at the wall. And there's like a cork board there. It goes through the wall and makes a hole. Everybody's like, he goes, we didn't beat the Soviets to come here and lose to the fucking Finns. Get out there and win. And I kind of felt like, we didn't beat the White Walkers and the Army of the Dead to come here and fucking lose to Cersei. Okay? Get the fuck out there and do your shit. Like, that's
a perfect
I felt
quote.
Like Herb Brooks was talking through that. Like,
that's perfect quote. Perfect fucking quote.
Yeah.
Like,
and the USA came back and won the gold medal.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they had to. Like, they were going to.
We are the champions.
Exactly,
yeah. Perfect quote. Like, perfect comparison.
So they're at King's Landing.
At King's Landing, the Army of the North is with the Unsullied and the Dothraki.
Whoever's left, yeah.
Which, the respawn rate on that Dothraki, whoo boy. If you're a video game fan, you'll know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because there's so many fucking Dothraki left. Where the fuck did they come from? Like, where'd they come? Like, they all should have, or at least majority of them, like at least 4/5 of them should have died.
There was a lot more in that battle than I thought there was going to be.
To the fucking undead, and they've got Dothraki running through the fucking streets. I'm like, where the fuck did these guys come from?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of fucking Unsullied, too. A lot more than I thought there'd be.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more fucking Unsullied left there. But he got them standing outside the fucking gates, crossbows on the walls, trying to figure out, what's going on, what's the dealio gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Grey Worm giving his angry face. There's nothing but angry face this whole fucking episode. And we got the Iron Fleet and Euron out on the in the bay and the harbor.
It's setting up to be a good one.
There's quiet. They're looking around. They're seeing what's going on.
Before you get into the fighting, you might want to tell the people, what did Tyrion say about the bells? The bells are very important.
Tyrion told Jaime that
because he released Jaime.
He released Jaime after he was captured and said, "Listen, if you can convince Cersei to leave, convince her to leave King's Landing, I have set it up. He talked to the Onion Knight. He's like, I have set it up to a way where you have a way out. You have a way out. You can get past the fleet. The fleet's not going to be a problem. Don't worry about it. But you can get past. Just get her out of there, and we can end this whole thing. But when you do it, ring the bells in the church. Ring the bells so that'll be the sign for us that the city has surrendered, that everything's done, and we can avoid all this senseless slaughter.
Right.
And then the gates can open, and we can just take everything, and nobody has to die, or at least we can keep the casualty rate as low as possible. So the important thing is the bells have to ring, and that signals the surrender of what's going on.
Right. And he tells it to Daenerys, and she agrees, and he says it to Jon, he says it to Grey, where Tyrion's telling everybody, the bells. Sing the bells, 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 bells. Little Hunchback reference for you. Thank you. I liked it.
So yeah, the bells are the big important thing. Like, boom, bells. Meanwhile, before the army even attacks, before anything even happens, we've got Arya and the Hound are in the city.
Oh, they are.
They've made it into the city.
So did Jaime, but separately.
Yes, I was going to bring that too. Jaime in the city too. They make it into the Red fucking Keep. Mm-hmm. As they're closing the doors, Arya and the Hound make it to the Red Keep, but Jaime doesn't. He's still outside the Red Keep. There was really funny line. I don't know if it's like bad or not, but it's really funny. Whenever Clegane and Arya ride up to the city and they stop them and they're like, "What's your business here?" And Arya's like, "I'm here to kill the queen." And she's real straight faced about it. And Clegane's like, "Look, if you just let us through, let us do our deed, we can avoid all this fucking fighting, and you won't have to die tomorrow." He's like, "I gotta talk to my captain," and they just fucking ride off. And I'm like, that was really funny. I'm surprised nothing came of it, but that was really funny. So anyway, that's what happened. So Arya and Clegane are in the Red Keep. Jaime's trying to find his way in there. All of a sudden, screaming out of the fucking sky like a bat out of hell, comes Dany riding on the dragon. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, here comes my first major problem with this episode. Boy, that dragon got really fucking good at dodging those crossbows.
Here's why.
Boy, he got really fucking good at it. Like,
so
holy fuck.
So he went for the ships first.
Yes, I know you're gonna say the sun. You're gonna bring up the sun. She was flying in from the sun. They were blind. It was blinding.
I wasn't gonna say that, but that might have something to do with it.
I've countered that.
She's prepared. She's more prepared. The first dragon was killed by this thing. They weren't ready for it. Now she is. She came up, like they were flying around that mountain and they got hit. Yeah. She's up super fucking high where they can't even see. And she comes straight fucking down. Those things, they can't go straight up.
Keyword, straight down. She wasn't zigzagging. It was a straight fucking line.
They couldn't, I don't think those...
They were shooting arrows and she was
They
spinning.
Dodged a few because...
She was spinning, so they could do that. They could shoot her from that.
I don't think they could go straight up. But there was probably some that were farther up.
No. She wasn't coming down at a 90-degree angle. She wasn't coming down straight down. She was coming down at an angle. Like, I know it's a podcast. You can't see what my fingers are doing. But maybe you could describe it. Maybe like at a 45-degree angle. We'll say
like a big bird coming in for landing.
Coming down.
Adam's moving his hand.
She was coming down.
He's coming like down. Open up.
Yeah.
Open up.
Okay. No. She was coming down at like say a 45-degree, and she was definitely not coming down straight down at them. They could absolutely hit him, and there's proof of that because she had to fucking dodge arrows whenever she was flying down.
They dodged a few, but nonetheless, she was more prepared for this weapon now. That's a big deal.
But like, what can you do to be prepared for this weapon in like a day? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're not training. Like, the only way you can prepare is if you take your dragon up in the air and have like your men shoot like soft tipped arrows at the dragon to try to dodge it. That's the only way you could prepare. Like, what else are you gonna fucking do? Like, really?
I just think
I got a problem with it because she like it was such a big threat when it was just the fucking fleet's arrows. Now she's got to contend with the fleet and the wall's arrows, and all of a sudden she's a fucking master at it in like a day. It's a irritating kind of thing. It's one of those like irritating writing things where it's like, because here's my biggest problem with it. She literally takes care of everything.
Like real fucking
like her armies do not fight at all. She takes care of the fleet. She takes care of all the fucking ships. Even when she's coming screaming down, whenever I mentioned that she's got the sun at her back and blinding him. Even when she gets down to an angle, that like those ships are spread out enough that when she came down at that angle, there would have been ships that were behind her, away from the sun, that could have seen her easily and shot her. And those fuckers were marksmen on that ship. Maybe not on the wall, but on the ship. They were fucking marksmen because they shot that dragon out of the air in the previous episode like it was fucking nothing. Like it was literally nothing. And it's got to be extremely difficult to shoot a moving object like that when you're that high in the air. So, I don't know. She destroys the whole fleet. And then when you think like, oh, she's taking care of the ships, maybe the army's going to move in and they're going to storm the walls. And, we're going to have this big siege and everything like that. No, they wait. And she blows a hole through the front gate and then proceeds to decimate the entire walls of King's Landing. So every single fucking crossbow.
Let's talk about the Golden Company and their pleated khakis.
Yeah.
So they wear khakis.
They came out in front of the gate. They
were hailed. They've been talking about them for they're hailed as these great warriors, these sellswords.
Apparently in the books there's a lot more about the Golden Company. Like they've done them once again. I keep using this phrase. They've apparently done them dirty in this show because apparently in the books the Golden Company is like plays a bigger role and is much more important than it is in this show.
Should have brought the damn elephants.
Fuck yeah.
Those elephants would have been toast too.
Oh yeah, they would have. Fucking toasted elephants.
Yeah, damn.
But yeah, they're standing out in front of the gate, and we got that good-looking guy, just that pseudo-supporting character that could have been a main character at some point, just sitting on his horse, and all of a sudden you hear all these explosions in the background. And
that poor guy, he had two lines.
John's like looking around like, huh, what's going on? And Graham's just staring off and puts his helmet on. I was like, I'm ready for fucking action. And then, boom! The fucking gates explode, and the goddamn walls come down, and he's like the last surviving member of his company, and he gets up off the ground.
Shaka when the walls fell.
He gets up off the ground, and he sees the Dothraki screaming forward, and he's just like, well, I'm fucked. And then the Unsullied and the Northmen come in, and they just storm the fucking walls, and then they go through to pillage and rape and kill everybody.
Yeah, they've damn. They fucked that shit up.
Yeah, they did. And
we should do that to Washington, D.C. Like, that's what we should do to Washington, D.C. Send a motherfucking dragon, light the whole shit on fire.
Yeah.
Collateral damage.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, my gosh. But it was...
But Dany destroys all the fucking turrets. Cersei's up in the Red Keep, all smug, and Qyburn is like, Your Grace, we should flee. Like, the arrows. We've got the crossbows. We'll be able to take care of it. And Qyburn's like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, all the fleet's destroyed. The crossbows are done. Damn. My men will fight to the last man. It's fine. It's fine. We'll be all good. And then there's that moment where the armies meet. By this point, they're not killing fucking the army. They're not killing Cersei's army. They're killing civilians like guardsmen and shit like that. They're not even fucking fighting the army. They meet the army in the middle of the city, And it's just like Jon Snow standing next to Grey Worm, and the Unsullied and the Men of the North are just there, just kind of like waiting for something to happen. And then they throw down their fucking swords. They give up.
They surrender.
They surrender. They throw down their swords. The bell's rung.
The bell's rung.
The bell
That's
is
important.
Rung. The bell is rung. Dany lands on the wall around them and is just sitting there, and she's got that shit-eating look on her face, like these fucking bitches. I swear to God, I could eat their fucking hearts right now. Like she is ready to go.
That was fucking it.
Yeah. Like, are you guys serious? I brought my dragon for nothing. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
You brought your dragon for. You didn't need to bring anybody else.
Yeah,
like no one else needed to do a damn thing.
You could have left the men of the. You could have left the Northmen up there to rest and brought the fucking Sully down.
She didn't need them. Yeah. She didn't need them. She needed her on the back of one fucking dragon,
which irritates the fuck out of me. It's so irritating.
Oh shit!
Like there's been this idea of like I gotta raise my armies and I gotta raise my navy and I gotta get all this power, and with one dragon she fucking decimates the entire fucking shit. Oh my God, I wanted something so much more epic than that. This is the last fucking season, Scott. And at this point, the Battle of the Bastards is more epic than this. Like, what the fuck?
For sure it was.
Like,
for sure it was.
I don't know. It's a thing. But Cersei starts, like, gets her thing going. She's standing there, like, waiting for something to happen. She's up in the keep. Everybody else is standing there waiting, blah, 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 blah.
She finally decides to evacuate, right?
Not until way after the next part happens. It was way after the next part happens.
Oh, okay.
Bells are ringing.
Right. Bells
They're waiting.
Will be ringing.
Tyrion's outside waiting for, he's outside the gates. He's surrounded by dead bodies. He started walking towards the gate. He hears the bells ringing. He's like waiting for, everything to stop. Like, oh, thank goodness it's going to end. Thanks goodness to stop. And then Dany fucking snaps. She snaps, takes off, and does probably one thing that I expected her to do, but I think it was written so poorly.
I hated it. Did you read the books?
No, I read the first book and I read half. I think I read the second. I think I read the second book too, but I got to go back and read them. I'm gonna go back and read them. Probably I'm gonna try to do that this summer. But they're long as fuck.
Yeah, my grandmother read all the books, and she said even though this isn't the book, like, the books are finished and this story keeps
the books aren't done.
Well, no. Like, this season was the writers, not George R. R. Martin's books. She goes, but I basically knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I know what's going to happen, and I'm not looking forward to it.
There's something that calls back to when I forgot to tell you about this. You remember there's a scene in season 1 whenever she's married to Khal Drogo and she sees the witches. And the witches, sees this vision of the Iron Throne and covered in ashes, and in the distance she can hear a dragon roaring and stuff like that. So this is kind of like a callback to that, where like it was destined to happen. Basically, right. It was destined, and I saw it coming a mile away. Because
I did too, unfortunately. Yeah,
I saw it coming a mile away, and I'm not unhappy that it happened. Because it's an extra twist to kind of throw in it, to the machine a little bit, little monkey wrench to throw into the engine a little bit, because basically what happens is she starts just decimating the entire city, going up and down the alleys and the streets, just breathing dragon fire left and right. And then when she starts doing this, Grey Worm just takes a spear and just chucks it to the back of the one Lannister army soldier, and as they've surrendered and shit like that, and starts this whole fucking massacre.
They're totally breaking the Geneva Convention
right there. Jon Snow's like, look at him, and he's trying to tell the Northmen, like, stop, we can't be doing this shit. What the fuck are you doing? And they go off on their rape, pillage, and plunder bullshit kind of thing that they're doing. And the reason why it makes no sense to me, the way they did it, was if they had written it, here's how I would have written it. Basically, let me give you the Adam Silva's screenplay for this. Mm-hmm. Okay? Dany does what she does, but she goes to the Red Keep first. She wants to take revenge on Cersei, because Cersei's the cause of the reason why she lost her second dragon. Cersei is the cause of the reason why Missandei is dead. Cersei is like behind all this stuff. So she flies to the Red Keep first. This is what I'm saying should have happened. She flies to the Red Keep first, and she decimates the Red Keep, kills all the civilians in there, all the guards, destroys the Red Keep, and then in that moment, her blood rage is not quelched. She gets in this blood rage mode, and she just has to just keep going, and then she turns on the rest of the city at that point. At that point, it's like a ripple effect where she takes out the Red Keep, and then it spreads out to the rest of the city. that would have made so much more sense to me than what she did here, where she just turns on the entire city, on the civilians, and just starts decimating men, women, children. Like, you see kids, they don't show it, but you see kids getting engulfed in flames and stuff like that. Like, it's so fucked up.
So you're saying if she would have went for Cersei first, brought down everything, and
then just in her blood rage just went for the rest of the city,
that would have been cool. That would have
been way more sense.
The reason why she couldn't do that is because of what happens next. Cersei then sees the dragon just massacring all these innocent people, and she gets the fuck out of there.
I think
and her getting out of there is an important thing for what happens
next. think if she saw the dragon come flying towards the Red Keep and saw that there was no arrows flying at it and it was coming there unmolested, then then she would have absolutely got the fuck out of there too.
But would she have had time? I don't think she would have had time. It would have come down on her head.
But you got to remember, she sees she sees a dragon decimating the city, and even as dragons decimating the city, she's not leaving. Like, she's going down the staircase as the dragon is destroying the keep, and that's when we get to the point where we have before this, Clegane and Arya are trying to make their way up to meet up with Cersei, and Clegane has his own thing he wants to do. He's trying to take out his brother because they have this long-standing feud, and when they're in the map room. It's another thing I hate. It was just them rushing through it. Somehow, in one sentence, Clegane is able to convince Arya to give up her lifelong vengeance just to go away and live a happy life.
Because, you're right, the dragon had already started taking on the Red Keep. The place is rumbling. It's about to come down.
Exactly.
She knows if she goes up to get her, she's not getting out of there alive. And Clegane tells her that. And I think this is what I was trying to say earlier. She had visions of her growing old, having dozens of babies with Gendry. I think that's appealing to her. Deep down, I think it is.
I don't have a problem with her turning back on her vengeance thing. I have a problem with the fact that she spent her whole life thinking she's going to kill Cersei by all means necessary. Like, she's just going to spend her whole life. That's her one goal, is to kill Cersei. I have a problem with the fact that it's done so quickly. I have a problem with the fact that there's no fight about it. I have a problem with the fact that Clegane only has to say one sentence, and Arya's like, "You're right. Thank you, Clegane. Have fun, buddy."
Well, she leaves then and there, and she still almost barely gets out with her life.
I know that, but I'm saying, like, the Game of Thrones I love is there had to have been a fight about that. Like, Arya could have said, "No, I've had this list my whole fucking life. I'm doing this." Like, there should have been a fight about it.
She's not dumb, Adam. She's not dumb. She's brilliant. And she knows he's right. She knows they're not getting out of there.
I know that, but my point is, like, there should have been more convincing, because she's not dumb and she's right, but she's still young. She's still young, and she still has that one set track mind of, I'm going to ride down to King's Landing, I'm going to kill Cersei. That was her whole goal.
Right.
That was number one on her list, was Cersei. What was it, Joffrey or Cersei? I can't remember. If not, she was like top 3 on her list. Cersei was like at least top 3.
She's definitely the top one left at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like with something like that, with somebody like Arya who's been obsessing about this for 7 years, I feel like it would have taken a little bit more fight than, you don't want to end up like me, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there should have been a little more fight there. But that being aside, Arya goes back down and Clegane goes up by himself, and we get to my favorite part of the whole fucking episode. Fucking Clegane goes up there, meets up with Cersei and his guards, and Qyburn is with them, and obviously the Mountain's with them. And Sandor Clegane kills the extra guardsmen, the extra names.
He kills them easy,
fucking easily as shit. And
that leaves the 3 of them.
And the Mountain,
Qyburn, Cersei, and the Mountain.
And the Mountain just looks at him, and something snaps. Up to this point, the Mountain's been nothing but loyal because he's been brainwashed.
I think he knows they're all gonna die too. The thing's about to come down on their heads. I think everybody knows we're all going to die.
Yeah, and the Mountain is like, I'm gonna go deal with my brother because it's been our rivalry since we were childhood.
Basically, the Mountain's like, I don't have to listen to you anymore,
Qyburn is gonna go up and be like, no, you must listen to our queen. And he,
oh my gosh,
palms his head like a fucking basketball.
Yes, he does.
And pushes him against the wall. He smacks his head against it, and then he pushes him down the fucking stairs. He bangs his head against a rock, and his brains just fucking fly out the back of his head. I was like, that's so good.
His head smashed like a melon.
God. It was so amazing.
Yep, and that was the end of that.
And then
they come face to face.
And then there's that moment where Cersei just walks by him, and Clegane just...
I loved it.
The Hound just... Whoop, let me just skirt past you. You guys have your fun.
They're just staring at each other. They're both frothing at the mouth. They're about to kill each other. And she's just like, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me, pardon me.
It seems like you guys got a lot to work out here. I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to go this way. Let's do this, okay? And she just skirts by him.
It was so good.
There's a moment when the Hound looks at her where, like, is he going to fucking, like, stab her or something like that? And he just looks at her and just looks back. It just fucking ignores her. I'm like, all right.
Part. I love that.
This is great.
I laughed out loud when that happened when I was watching it. It was so good to me.
Yeah, it was so great. That was a great point in the episode. And
their epic battle though.
Yeah, it was such a good battle that we all knew the Hound was not going to win. He could draw.
Nobody beats the Mountain.
He could draw, but he was never going to win. Because the fucking Mountain, is the Mountain, but also he's a fucking zombie.
Yeah, he's got whatever Clyburn did to him, I don't even know.
Yeah, he did some strange magic.
Die, yeah.
So they have this big old fight. Arya's running through the streets trying to get the fuck out of there because a dragon is flying through and just doing all her nonsense, all his fucking burning people and shit like that. And Cersei meets up with Jaime in the map room, and that's a whole fucking thing. And they decide to try to escape, but when they try to escape... we skipped past the Euron and Jaime fight scene.
Oh, that was cool.
That happened. It was a really weird interaction between those two because... I don't know how the fuck Euron found Jaime right as he was walking into the secret path, but whatever, I guess. But they have a fight scene, and Euron gets a shit-eating grin on him when he's dying. Like, I'm the one that killed the Kingslayer, even though he didn't. And it's not how it happened.
I gotta be honest. See, that's the thing of writing that I didn't like. Many times
he stared at the camera too when he did it.
Well, but Euron won that fight. He stabbed Jaime so many times. He had to be mortally wounded. He might have limped in and climbed up the stairs and got to the map room with Cersei, but there's no way he was going to survive from those wounds.
No,
he got stabbed so many times.
Yeah,
and Euron gets stabbed one time, and he lays there and dies.
Well, he gets stabbed right in the torso. Mm-hmm. Bear in mind, Euron is stabbing him with a skinny fucking knife. So he's taking little stabs at him with a skinny knife. Jaime takes a sword, stabs him, and then twists the sword back and forth to kind of dig it in there.
Okay,
and stuff. So Jaime would have died from his wounds, but Jaime definitely killed him. Basically outright with that.
They pretty much had a duel and killed each other.
Basically.
But Jaime was mortally wounded, but okay enough to
make it to the map.
Make it to the next scene, if you will.
Exactly. So they can have their little moment. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Dany's doing all this nonsense. Jon Snow's trying to gain control of the ground, trying to get at least the Northmen to stop doing what they're doing. He kills one of his Northmen when he tries to rape this one woman, and that's a whole fucking thing. So there's a moment where you're thinking like maybe Jon Snow's gonna finally grow a pair and go up to Dany and be like, "What the fuck are you doing, bitch? Like seriously, what are you doing? This is not why I bent the knee. What's going on?" Tyrion's all fucking heartbroken because all this shit's going on and his gamble didn't pay off again. So
yeah, he's got a look on his face like Varys was right.
Yeah. Like Varys makes a point of saying like before he's burned by the dragon, wrong. Like I really hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about this, but if I'm right, eat your dick because
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We go to jail peacefully. Happily, quietly. But if I'm right, Lenny, you just saved the lives of millions of registered voters. Sorry, little Ghostbusters for you.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
So what happens next, Adam?
Jaime gets Cersei down to the potential exit, and it's all buried.
Oh, because
and
it's
blocked up, and so they have a moment. And Cersei has the only major moment of weakness she's ever had in this entire series comes at this moment when she starts crying, and she tells Jaime, "I don't want to die. Not like this. Not like this." I gotta ask some.
Yep.
So the keep falls on them.
Yep.
And they're presumably dead. They're presumably cannot survive that. What happened? Are you satisfied with the way Cersei died?
No.
Neither am I.
No, I wanted her to die the way Ned Stark died. That's what I wanted.
I wanted the dragon. I wanted the dragon to eat her. Is what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I wanted there to be a spectacle
like they did with Ned Stark. and chop head off. I wanted Arya to do it. It would just become full circle.
Instead, she gets this nice moment with basically the love of her life, her brother, and gets this really nice moment to be able to hold each other while she's basically going to be dying.
Like, that's how Palestinian children die every day. Like, I wanted a special death for her. You know, like...
Yeah. It's I was very dissatisfied with the way it happened. I told you. If Cersei doesn't get her comeuppance at the end of the series, this whole show has been a failure. That is what I said.
Do you think she did?
No, I don't.
Is the whole show a failure to you because she didn't?
I guess it is at this point because she didn't get. She's been responsible for so much horribleness that's happened.
What if they dig her mangled corpse out of the rubble and then do bad things to it? Would that make it better?
You, sir, have redeemed yourself. I can see them doing that too. In this show.
Well, I mean, she wants to sit on the fucking Iron Throne. The Iron Throne is buried with tons and tons of rubble. So, and they've killed all the workers who are going to unbury it. Yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen now.
I think at the end she doesn't care about the Iron Throne anymore. She just cares about getting her revenge.
The Iron Throne isn't the actual Iron Throne.
Well, like I heard some people talking about it, and I heard some people in defense of what I said, where I think it was dumb of her to start with the people in the beginning and then move to the Red Keep. There were a lot of people that made the argument that, well, the reason why she turned on the people was because the entire season has been her basically complaining about how everybody loves Jon Snow and everybody hates her, and that was a big thing early in the episode. Was
now he's the heir to the throne.
Well, that was a big thing in the early of the episode too, where she was talking about, if I can't rule with love, then I'll rule with fear. And so I guess the logic was, if you're going to rule fear, then you got to make people fear you like this. It's really difficult for people to fear you, though, if you burn them to death. It's kind of difficult for that to happen. Just gonna say that. Also, the entire season has been predicated on the thought of, nobody likes me. People don't love me. Which I get is a good motivational thing, but I think it's been handled poorly in this episode. That's the reason why I say this entire season has been poorly written. I like the season. The cinematography is amazing. The music is so amazing. The acting has been on par from what we've seen in all the other seasons so far. A lot of it is really, really good. The decisions they're making has been real shit. And even a lot of the actors, I think, realize it too, because you'll hear a lot of reporters, stuff like that, go up to, like, John, the actor who plays Jon Snow, Kit Harington, or Peter Dinklage or Emilia Clarke, and they'll be like, "So you satisfied with the ending of your character? Are you satisfied with the way your character arc went in the season?" And they get this look on their face where they want to say no, and they're like, sort of, yeah, kind of, and then they realize, oh wait, HBO's paying my bills. Oh, it's going to be they all have the same answer. Oh, it's going to be a really epic season. It's going to be such an epic season. The viewers are going to love it. It's going to be so epic. There's going to be so much going on. The viewers are all going to love it.
I loved in one of those after shows. Do you watch the after shows after they do?
Not
really. The one that I watched, it was after the Battle of Winterfell, and they were interviewing Maisie Williams, and they were like, when you read the script and you found out that Arya was the one to kill the Night King, how did you react? She's like, oh, I was so excited. She's like, I thought it was going to be Jon the whole time, and when I read it was going to be Arya, she's like, I was super excited. Well, how did Jon take it? Or how did Kit take it? She goes, oh, he was so cool that they showed they showed him sitting like this. I was fucking pissed. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
And you know what? You have to take what these guys say a little bit, like, to heart a little bit, because these guys have been playing these characters for years, for almost a decade now, so they would know what their fucking character would do in this situation. So
you become that character, even though it's not you. You're playing a role, but
like Peter Dinklage is the best. Like, I think it was Peter Dinklage or Kit Harington that when they said, like, how's the season going? Like, how are people going? How you like the season? Like, oh, it's real disappointing. Like, that was the first thing they said, real disappointing there. And
really?
Then they were like, we're talking about love, and then they try to laugh it off. Like, no, it's going to be really good. People are going to love it, It's going to be a really great season and stuff. I can't remember who it was.
Really?
But,
I didn't hear
that. I saw the video, and they kind of briefly said that real quick, and I was like, huh, even the fucking actors know it's bullshit. even the actors know that the writers suck.
It's just,
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think the writers all suck. I think it's the two main guys that are in charge of creating the show, which are in charge of all the plot and what's going on. I think it's them. I think they suck. I think they are terrible. You see them at the end of every episode. They do interviews with them, and I briefly skimmed it a couple times, and you see them talking, and I'm like, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about, do you? Like, it's just. But it's I would have loved to have seen it with better writers, better people behind it.
It's like it's crazy when you see like the behind the scenes photos. Like I've seen like not even behind the scenes. Like I've seen like out in public, like Amelia Clark and Lena Headey, who's Cersei, like hanging out with each other, like yucking it up. Like they're friends, like they play on a show together. But I'm like, you should kill each other. Like
take this knife and stab her in the temple, please.
Or like the scene they showed with Maisie Williams and the actor who played the Night King. Like they're having a really good time shooting that scene together. And I'm just like, this is creepy. Like I usually see that stuff in photos for The Walking Dead too. Like in between cuts when the camera's not rolling. There's like these extras standing there made up as zombies. They're like. With like the actors on the show, they have a plate of food. They're like sharing food in between. I'm like, that's so weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remove myself from the story. I immerse myself in the storyline, in these characters. So when I see like those things happening, I'm like, they're fucking lying to me. That's what I feel. I feel hurt.
I was listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast, and they had on there a very famous YouTuber named Markiplier. And not a fan of his videos, but upon listening to the podcast, I'm a fan of the guy himself, and I would listen to a podcast if he did it. But they were talking about Game of Thrones in the past couple episodes in their show, and he made a point into saying that, because I think he was a big fan of the books too. He made a point, and I agree that this would be a great way of doing the show, of ending it, was instead of ending it where you take care of the dead first and then you go down and deal with the Iron Throne. Maybe they should have dealt with the Iron Throne first. Maybe they should have left like a contingent of like a northern army up in the north, and then they sent people down to deal with the Iron Throne, to take care of Cersei, to deal with all that nonsense first, and then the dead come south.
Well, as we see now, what they could have done is Daenerys could have been like, hold on a second, I'll be right back. Hop on your dragon, fly the fuck down south, burn the shit,
when you had three fucking dragons, by the way.
I'm back.
You had three fucking dragons.
Let's handle these motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I think that would have been really more interesting if you dealt with the Iron Throne, then, you put something on the Iron Throne, that's whole thing started, and then it starts snowing in fucking King's Landing, and the dead come south. I thought that would have been maybe a little bit more interesting of way of handling it, I guess. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you can handle it, I guess. This is the way we're going to get it. There's a lot of people that are, like, petitioning for, like, reshoots of, like, this season or reshoots of, like, the last couple episodes. I'm not all for that. That's too much fucking money. They're not going to want to do that. That's kind of a bit of a cop-out, in my opinion. But I hope the last episode's done right. I hope it brings everything together, and I really hope it's done well. Like I said, I don't think the season is bad. I don't think the season is horrible. I'm really enjoying the season. It's just a lot of the writing, a lot of the decisions. I'm like, I don't know about that. Could have done it way better. And I've been watching the show for 7 years. I like to think I know a thing or two. I know more than you writers who've been doing this as a career. So, I don't know.
Like when Ron Swanson gets approached by somebody at the Home Depot. I know more than you. Love that theme. All right, so what's next? What's next, dude?
I don't fucking know.
There's one episode left, and then we're never going to see them again. Our friends.
Are we going to have the Northmen now fighting Dany's army? Is that what's going to be a thing? Like, what the fuck?
I like the theory, the seed you planted in here, that Varys was working with that little scullery maid who's in the kitchen to poison the food.
Oh, so she'll take initiative and she'll become the next Varys, basically.
Well, maybe we don't know what he was writing on that little slip of paper he burned. Maybe he's like, if something happens to me, keep fucking doing it. In fact, if I'm gonna do it double.
Yeah.
Maybe she's doing
2 vials of poison.
Yeah, and maybe like Daenerys is gonna drop the fuck dead, and Jon's like, oh shit, now what do I do? Okay, I guess I'll go sit over here.
King in the South. King in the South.
But like he should be king at this point. I was always Team Daenerys. I was Team Daenerys when she
100%.
The breaker of change, when she freed the slaves. I was on her side. I was in her corner. After this, I think I've switched my. I'm not Jon Snow. I can switch my allegiances. I'm done with her.
From the beginning of the series, from the moment that he went north to take the Black, I've been Team Jon Snow. From the beginning. And I was really disappointed when he was killed. And then I was like, oh, they brought him back? So that's going to be a thing in this show. Okay.
Yeah.
But at least he's back. And he's doing his thing now.
I tend to pick wrong.
And then they screamed King in the North for Jon Snow. I was like, fuck yes! King in the North!
Yes.
Absolutely!
Yes, you were yelling at your TV, King in the North!
I literally was doing that. I had a few rum and cokes and I was like, King in the North!
You were.
I was raising my mug. I've got a Game of Thrones mug. King in the North!
You got your sword out.
Yeah. I was like, King in the North! King in the North!
But I was on Team Targaryen.
And then he fucking bent the knee.
I was on Team Targaryen. I was always with her. But I choose wrong. I chose MySpace over Facebook. I was wrong there. I said I like Backstreet Boys better than NSYNC. I said this Timberlake guy is never going anywhere. So I've not
History has proven you wrong time and time again.
I think I've been the one who's been wrong now and again. So we'll see. We got one more episode tomorrow night. I'm kind of sad, man. Kind of sad.
I'm not. The way the season's going, I'm kind of like, just let it end. Let's finish it up at this point.
I didn't care for the last 2 episodes, but I'm not going to let that taint the entire series.
That is a third of the fucking season. You realize that. The last 2 episodes is a third of the season.
But I liked the previous 3, I guess.
So if you don't like the finale episode, that's half the season you didn't like.
We'll see.
And it's the latter. It's the latter half at that, the ending of it, basically.
We'll see.
So,
I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know how.
I have no idea. So, if you guys want to get hold of For Your Distraction, tell us what you thought of the season so far. How do you think it's going to end? Email us. Well, foryourdistraction@gmail.com. I guess at this point, by the time you listen to it, it's already ended and you know. But give us what your alternative endings would be, I guess. What would you think how it should have ended? What would you have liked to have seen? Ant-Man.
Tell us where we're wrong.
Cersei's butt and expands. So that would be sexual harassment at that point.
Can you imagine if Daenerys had all of the Infinity Stones? Good God. What would the Mad Queen do with all that power?
Same thing that Thanos did with it, I guess. Yeah. Would be my imagination. Except they wouldn't have dusted away. They would have burned and then dusted. So we're also on our social media sites, Facebook and Twitter. Search For Your Distraction @PodcastFYD. We are on SoundCloud and we're on iTunes. Search For Your Distraction. Rate us, like us, comment on us. Share us with your friends. The only way we grow is if you guys help us grow. We are also a member of the Be Real Podcasting Network. Head over to Podbean and search for the Movie Guys Podcast. That is our unofficial hub for the Be Real Network.
They do a really good job recapping the Game of Thrones scenes. Check out the Movie Guys.
They're also on Movie Guys is also on YouTube.
Yes.
Movie Guys is also on YouTube, and you can find a lot of their stuff. They do live commentary on the Game of Thrones episodes right after it's done on Sunday. So check out what they have to say, what their opinions
intense,
of it. They're right after it. Check that out, and they put our shows on there too, audio versions on YouTube also. So subscribe to the Movie Guys podcast on YouTube as well.
We'll give a shout out to a couple of our friends who've been listeners as of late. My friend Mark, I don't know if he wants to give me his last name out there, so I'm just going to say my buddy Mark. He stumbled across the show. He's like, I didn't know you had a podcast. So now he's a listener. Thanks for joining in. Adam, I know you ran into somebody.
Yeah, I ran into an old buddy of ours, a mutual friend of ours, named I will give his last name, named Josh Watkins. Because he does a lot of streaming right now. He's doing a lot of like gaming streaming. I'm assuming he's on Twitch and YouTube and everything like that. He could be under his name. He has a pseudonym called Infinifractal Teleflowers. I'm not going to tell you how it's spelled because I don't even know how the fuck it's spelled. But that's kind of what his pseudonym is on the internet. So you could probably search for that if you want to maybe catch some video game streaming that he does.
Wow, I don't know, man. We got one more show
of
a Game of Thrones recap to do in the future.
We don't.
That's it.
We don't normally do this, but next week's episode is going to be our review of Endgame.
Oh,
we don't usually do new reviews, and we don't usually kind of advertise what's going to be going on the next episode. But
I'm a dick. It took me a long time to see it.
It did, but it's okay. You saw it, and now we're going to review it.
Yes.
We're going to talk about Endgame finally. It'll be after the final episode of Game of Thrones. So if you have not seen Endgame, make sure you watch it before next week's episode so that you can catch what our thoughts are on Endgame.